Today we're going to discuss 2 ways you can build wealth through rental real estate. Here we go. And welcome back to REI Simplified. I'm your host, Adam Johnson. We break down complex real estate situations and scenarios for people like me and you, the beginning investor. Today we're talking about building wealth, talking about acquiring properties and what to do with them once you have them. Now, generally I get 2 questions. Adam, should we pay off all the properties and own them outright free and clear, or should we leverage against those properties? And I have 2 answers for you. I'll give you the pros and cons and tell you what we do, okay? So strategy number 1 is paying off properties. So I'm gonna use round numbers so we can try to compare apples to apples. Here we go. Let's say we have 10 properties and all 10 properties are profiting us $300 per month. That's $3,000 per month. That's a decent amount of money depending on where you live. In my market, that's great. You can live off that money. So let's say that we want to use all that profit every single month and put it back towards the principal of these mortgages to get them paid off fast, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, all right? So if we're profiting $3,000 a month and we're putting that profit on the lowest mortgage, it's gonna take us a decent amount of time to pay off 10 houses. Depending on many factors, they could be, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. I'm not sure. There's so many factors that come in play. But let's say it takes us 10 years, right? We're taking all principal, all profit, and paying down these mortgages. Now, if it takes us 10 years, that means for 10 years, we have to continue working our day job because all this additional principal, all this side hustle we created is now going back into the business, and there's no excess for us to live off of. So that's one con in my opinion. I started a business so I don't have to work ever again. I did not start a business so I can work and run a business. So for me, that's a con. I don't want to have to work 10 more years for my business to start working for me. Now, the pros is that yes, in 10 years, potentially you could have 10 properties paid for free and clear. That's amazing. Let's say that you were getting $1,000 a month for rent, okay? That and you raised your rent by, 50% over the next 10 years, which is very reasonable. Do the math, that's very reasonable. So let's say that you have all these houses paid off free and clear. That means you're making $15,000 a month profit with these houses being paid off. That is great money. I don't care where you live, that's pretty good money. All right, so the pros with strategy number 1 is it's gonna take some time. You're gonna have to continue working. I'm sorry, let me take a step back. The cons is that it's gonna take a decent amount of time. You're gonna have to continue working. The pros is that you own them outright. So God forbid the housing market kind of goes down and the prices weren't where they were a couple years ago, you still own these houses outright. And if you're renting them and you need to drop your rent a little bit, you're still very, very profitable. So the pros is that you own them outright, you have a lot more flexibility. The cons is that it's gonna take you a good amount of time, theoretically, to have these houses paid off in full, all right? Strategy number 2, which is what we use, okay? So apples to apples, let's say we have 10 houses. Those 10 houses are making us $300 a month profit net. That's $3,000, okay? At that point, you can quit your job. I quit my job, my wife quit her job, and we lived off of the money that our business was making. We also used the excess part of that money to buy more properties and reinvest into other properties and build Airbnbs and this and that. What I'm getting at is we made this money work for us from day 1. We didn't want to still work our regular job, stay away, have that time away from the family and doing a side hustle that's just as stressful. We don't want to do that. So with our method, strategy number 2 is, yes, you have these properties, but you don't stop at 10. You don't take all the profit and put it back into the business. You leverage against these properties and you keep making that money work for you. You keep acquiring properties and keep getting rental properties and keep refinancing. You are very active in your strategy. So where it took you for example, it took you 10 years to make $15,000 a month. With our strategy, by reinvesting, it can be 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years. There's so many factors in your market. Yes, you will not have a house owned outright. I will never have a house owned outright, not even one. I don't want to, I don't care, because I can always pull money, equity out of any of those properties to go buy more houses or to reinvest to fix up some of our older homes. I will never let money sit into a property. That's dead money. Equity is dead money. It's just sitting there. Make that equity work for you. Put it back into your business. Let the business work for you. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Let me just say this: you're not right or wrong by doing either of those 2 strategies. Okay, we all have different preferences. We all have different comfort with debt and so many other factors. For us, we love to make our money work for us. We love for our business to work for us as well. So that's the 2. There's the bonus. Here's the bonus. I'm gonna give you a strategy, one strategy that many rich people use, and we're getting to the point where we can utilize this strategy as well. It's called buy, borrow, and die. Hear me out. So rich people, what they'll do is they'll buy an asset or build a business. Okay, let's say that you have a business that's worth, doesn't matter, it's worth $1 million. Okay, but you only owe let's say $600,000. So you have $400,000 of positive equity. In most cases, many companies will let you refinance, pull equity out of that business up to 80% of the value. So if the value is $1 million, 80% of 1 million is $800,000. If you owe $600,000, that's a $200,000 difference. You can live off that money. So what rich people do on a larger scale, they will pull out hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of equity out of their asset or their business. They'll live a couple of years off of that money, and then they'll do it again. Because in most markets, especially in our market, houses are most likely always going to appreciate. So where if you pull out, in this example, you pulled out $200,000 of equity and you hold that money, for example, for another 4 or 5 years, depending on your market, you're gonna do it again. You can do it again and again and again and again and continue doing this. You can buy and borrow until you die. And whenever you die, instead of trying to sell the business and trying to cash out, you simply hand the business down to your family. And your family members do the exact same thing. They can borrow over and over and over until they die, and you keep the business a cash flowing asset in your family, and your family can always live off of it. So that's it, guys. That's a quick video. 2 strategies. You can pay off your properties, you can leverage your properties, and once you have a couple properties, you can choose to do the bonus strategy, which is what rich people do, of buy, borrow, and die. So that's it today. My name is Adam Johnson. I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee. If I can help any of you guys, please shoot me a call, give me a message. In the information below, I'm providing my booking link or my scheduling link. If you want to schedule a phone call with me, I'll be happy to talk to you one-on-one. I'm here to help people. Whether you call me or not, please like and share. Send it to a buddy. Why not? It's free. If we can help more people, that makes me a happy man. So I appreciate y'all's time. I look forward to talking to y'all. If you're in Clarksville, you see me out on the street, say hi. Until then, we'll see you guys later. Johnson out.